For those of you that choose to attend the lab that's been recorded, you'll see me interacting with the form as well. So if you've never used that or you feel intimidated by the form, I'll show you exactly how that works. But let's take a look at some detail. So inside here from the summary installation form, let me highlight a few things. When we take a look at the storage controller setup, you can see right here, it's just one section. Right? We have other sections that we saw this form before when we were talking about the hardware setup. But now we're inside the storage controller setup. And what do we need here, or what's of primary importance? We need management, IPMI interfaces. The InfiniBand configuration is actually static. So the thing is, when you put in the proper...
If you don't do anything, if you virtualize a physical server into a virtual machine, then we sometimes refer to that virtual machine as the guest OS. The hypervisor is the main one, and all of the virtual machines have their own guest operating system installed on all of those guests. You can install an Avamar agent into the virtual machines, and you can do the deduplication that way. But that means that if I've got a server and each of my virtual machines has 1 million files inside of it, each of those agents are literally going to, you can almost view it like this. If here's my LAN, here's my firewall, and this is my IP LAN.
So inside here, this is where, now that we've successfully provisioned volumes, and we'll be placing load using IO meter from a Windows perspective onto our Extreme IO array. I think is now we can see how to track that, take a look at some of the statistics, because I think something that you'll notice if you choose to go through this class, in the beginning, to validate a clean configuration is not that hard. So we actually put load on it, so you have a.
We configure fast cache in RAID 1 mirror pairs, right? And which helps us out in terms of acknowledgement to the host, only because, well, we not only are getting this from a cache like disk environment, but we're seeing the advantage of being able to get the acknowledgement from either side of the mirror. Fast cache promotion. If we get a certain number of access requests to a particular data element within a certain defined...
So first 15 months at EMC has been fantastic. I would say my first job that was given to me was Extreme IO, to incubate Extreme IO, make sure it's the right environment to sell, figure out the use cases, and deliver products with the team. So
in the field, who maybe don't have the opportunity to come to this training this time around, they say, why didn't those people figure out this one feature? Why does this work this way as opposed to working that way? You're the leaders that are going to have to explain to them that the business...
So they're going to want to transcode it to that, and Android phones typically take different type of media than Apple phones. Just they want to make sure that your device can see what it's been transcoded to. So that's usually what happens here in the media preparation. And then you got to keep track of all of it. Some companies do it well. Some companies don't do it at all. Some companies make their own. So this media asset management piece is very important because that's how they keep track of everything, right? So you're going to find that across the board on how do they keep track of the assets.
So just in terms of the relevance of this topic to senior staff, we've put a lot of time here. And to the question just a minute ago about kind of what's in the future, we spend our time as part of long-range planning. So, yeah, it's great for us to answer some of these questions about the specific here and now, but this panel also spends a bunch of time on the long-range plan and what set of steps we're taking, through the rest of this year, the next year, the year after, and the year after that. So there's a bright future ahead of us here.
By the way, we've absolutely irked. If you ask me who am I most concerned about, I would tell you as I sit here today. Because they launched their Pure Flex, Pure systems 8 months ago, it didn't move the needle. They have put a huge rally cry in all of their folks that this is how they need to drive their solution to market, and there's a huge push. We were with Gartner 2 weeks ago. Gartner was telling us maybe I was meeting with them weekly.
So there's a major disconnect between traditional IT and entrepreneurial business teams and the sense of urgency that they share. So over the last few years, it's not unusual to see that entrepreneurial business teams, the innovators and entrepreneurs, have looked for faster ways of building applications. These are the DevOps guys buried down in the line of business who want speed, they want simplicity, they want flexibility. And because of that, there's been a very, very rapid adoption of public cloud for things like test and dev environments.
So what I thought we'd do is let's go to Varun and see if we can show a demo to the audience on the secure shared files. Why don't you join me, Dave?
That'd be great.
Yep. So Varun, we're back, and you ready to show us a demo on the secure shared files?
Yes, Jitu, let's go ahead. So let's try to do some role playing out here. Let's assume that I'm a sales rep at EMC, and EMC has configured secure shared files for the organization, and you're my customer, and just like you mentioned, I will be sending you a price quote for the product.
May have a negative role of trying to constrain how any data in their particular country is being used. And I agree with you. I don't think you can constrain us.
Joe, you mentioned the smart cities. So the way we see them moving forward, they become platforms themselves.
And the future user interface will be distributed and will be everything. So what's around you is going to be a big part of your interaction with this world.
In the commercial world, we're doing all of this work and there's great implications for it, but like everything, we live in a world that sometimes is commercially driven, and people, find unexpected places where new businesses are spawned and new economic realities occur. So predict where, 5 years from now,
marketing, sales, service around these initiatives to go and attack a goal. And if we can keep doing that, we can put a dent in a lot of things.
Completely agree. One of the other big hags was around converged infrastructure. Howard, you and I sit on the VCE board.
Absolutely.
I'm excited as hell to have it back in as part of EMC.
Fantastic.
And I talked with Mark and with Tim and Praveen. They seem to be really, really excited. But talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, converged infrastructure has really taken the market by storm, and it's becoming the preferred deployment method, right, that customers want in hybrid cloud and consolidated infrastructure.